Well, let's go and take a look at these rules real quick. Just a couple things to remember. The first one is all negative numbers are less than all positive numbers. What that means is you will never have a negative number that is greater than a positive number. All negative numbers are less than 0. So if we have a number line, if we have 0 here, that means everything to the left of the 0 has to be a negative number, okay? All positive numbers are greater than all negative numbers. You're never going to have a positive number that is less than a negative number. And all positive numbers are greater than 0. So just like how the negative numbers go left of 0, all your positive numbers go right of 0 because all positive numbers are greater than 0. And then finally, something important to remember is that 0 is neither positive nor negative. So if someone asks you what's the opposite of 0, well, it's just 0, okay? So let's take a look at a number line and see what we can figure out. Okay, so we're set up to order some integers now. And we've got -7, 4, 7, and -4. So you can see I've set up my number line and I've put a 0 in the center. You don't always have to put a 0 in the center. It just depends with what you're working with. In this case, it just makes sense to. So the first number we have is a -7. Well, just like we explained before, all your negative numbers go to the left of 0. So we can figure that -7 is going to go, about here. Now we're going to move over. Let's cross that off because we're done with it. Let's move over here. I have a +4 and a +7. So we know that 4 is less than 7, so the 4 is going to go first to the right of the 0. And just the way we count, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 is going to come after 4 right there. Now we need to place this -4. Well, just how we were counting here, like you've done your whole life with positive numbers, going from left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you're going to do the same thing just in reverse with the negatives. Well, what do I mean by that? Instead of going from left to right like the positives, with the negatives you're going to go right to left. So 0, 1, 2, 3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So here we have a number line and we've correctly placed our integers. Now, where some of the confusion comes in with these negative numbers is, which one of these is greater? If I asked you to say -7 and -4, and to use the less than or the greater than symbol, which one would you use? In this case, you would say -7 is less than -4. -4 is the larger integer when you compare it to -7. Or another way to say that is -4 has the greater value. That's where a lot of the confusion is coming in. So let's explain why -4 is greater than -7. Okay, let me draw your attention real quick over here to the point we're trying to emphasize. -7 is less than -4. We've got a number line here to help us illustrate this. You see we have 0 in the center. To the right in blue, we have our positive numbers. And to the left in red, we have our negative numbers. Now let's not focus on the negative numbers just yet. Let's take a look at the positive numbers. And I want you to think back to how you've always counted your whole life and how counting works. As you say each number, you're increasing in value. 2 is greater than 1. 3 is greater than 2. 4 is greater than 3, and so on. 7 is greater than all the numbers that come before it. Now, it's no different with the negative side. Here's how numbers work. When you have them on a number line like this is why I'm always saying draw a number line. The rule is this. As you move right on a number line, your value increases. As you move left on a number line, your value decreases. Another way to say this is we get larger as we go right, we get smaller as we go left. And it doesn't matter where you start. For example, if I start on 0, as I move right, I'm getting bigger. If I started at 0 and moved 4 spaces right on a number line, well, I land on positive 4. Positive 4 is greater than 3, 2, 1, 0. But it's not greater than 5, 6, 7 because I haven't moved far enough to the right yet. If I wanted to move one more to the right, 5, I'm now greater than 4 than I was. But let's say I move back 2 steps to the left. 1, 2. Now I'm at 3, and I'm less than I was before when I was at 4. Negative numbers are no different. Let's say I start at 0, and I move left 1. Well, I'm at negative 1, which is further left than all these positive numbers, which remember we just talked about. All positive numbers are greater than all negative numbers. So if I move left here, I'm at less than all these, but I'm still greater than the rest of these negative numbers because these are further left. In other words, just remember that as we move right, we're getting bigger. As we move left, we're getting smaller. Negative 7 and negative 4. Here's my negative 4. Here's my negative 7. Which one is the furthest to the left on the number line? Well, negative 7 is. That's why negative 7 is smaller or has less value than negative 4. Because negative 4 is to the right, further to the right on a number line than negative 7 is. This is the same thing as when a lot of you say negative 4 is greater because it's closer to 0. You're exactly right. With negative numbers, the further right you go, the closer you get to 0. Let's look at another example that shows that. Okay, as you can see, I've set up a number line here where I have a 0 and then just negative integers. So based on these numbers, just the ones I have up here, negative 1 through negative 10, on this number line, what's the greatest value negative number I have? Well, it's negative 1, because negative 1 is furthest to the right of all these other negative numbers. Or, as some of you like to say, it's closer to 0. So which negative number has the least value? Well, that's negative 10. Negative 10 has the least value because it's the furthest one to the left on the number line, and it's furthest away from 0. 0 is greater than all of these negative numbers because it's the furthest to the right on the number line. Now, let me ask you a question. If I was to plot negative 12 on this number line, would it be less than or greater than negative 10? Think about what I'm saying. If I was to plot negative 12 on this number line, would it be less than or greater than negative 10? Well, the answer is it would be less than negative 10. Because I'm going to run out of room here, but it's going to go about here. But look at where it is in relation to the negative 10. It's to the left. And again, the further we move to the left on a number line, the smaller our number it gets, the less value it has. What if I wanted to put a positive 3? Well, obviously that would be greater because it'd be about here, because it's further to the right on the number line. Okay? I know that negative numbers can be a little tricky sometimes, but you just need to remember the rule that the further left you're going, the less value your number has. As you move right, the more value your number has. This is why I say, draw number lines on those problems. It's only going to help you out. I hope this video was helpful. I think I got a little long-winded on it. If it is a little confusing, I apologize. Come see me. I'm glad to help you out. And just study over the weekend if you're someone who's going to be retaking the test. And you're going to keep seeing this. You need to be studying your notes. I keep suggesting every night, 10 minutes a night. Just because we take a test over some of this material doesn't mean it goes away. It's going to keep coming back. And it is important that you learn it. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll see y'all later.